Okay, ladies and gentlemen, ambassadors, players, coaches, if I may have your attention, and I would like to make a note that it's 12:06. We're supposed to start at 12, so we're right on time. And remember what I told you in March. Whose fault is it if something goes wrong? Yours. You guys are really quick to say that, but that's correct. And if everything is going well and there haven't been a lot of concerns or questions or problems, who do you thank? The staff, Mike Spackman, our Shrine Liaison, Lori Phillips, our Campus Events Director, and certainly the dining hall, which we truly appreciate for those that like to eat. We have with us today is Cairo Potentate, Jason Colte. Jason, just stand up to give an acknowledgement. And also we have our Board of Governors that are with us today. Dick Cook, give a wave, Dick. Dave Baldazero, Board President, give a wave, Dave. Are there other board members here that I've missed? I'm overlooking. Not seeing any. Oh, Dave Catman, Vermont Athletic Director and member of the board. And finally, the Athletic Director from New Hampshire, Gary Mail. These are the ones that make this program work. And it wouldn't happen without them. It wouldn't happen without you. It wouldn't happen without the coaches. It wouldn't happen without ambassadors. It wouldn't happen without Shriners Children's for the healthcare system that we sponsor. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Couple of notices. We ask the players each day, hopefully, to police after yourself in the dorms, in the locker rooms. Just to pick up the trash. If you see trash on the floor, it's not somebody else's job if we put it there as collectively as a group. Help us out. Pick up the dorms, pick up the cafeteria, pick up the locker rooms, and just be respectful to other people's jobs. Be respectful to the coaches. We've talked about this. Players, other campus attendees. Note we have a baseball camp going on today, so there's other campers here. Be respectful. And certainly, last year we experienced some building damage. And that building damage comes directly off the top of the Shriners' contributions to the to the Shriners Children's. Please do not damage the buildings. We had somebody smash through a double door in the locker room last year. $2,000. So, ouch, exactly. Just be respectful. Have fun. We want everybody to have fun. Be respectful. And when do you put your game faces on? Saturday morning. That's when you're going to hit other team members, hit other player, other team, your own team members, and sometimes they get in the way, right? And just be respectful and don't cause damage. Stay away from the fire extinguishers. Just do what is expected. Now, 12:10, we are right back on time. Imagine that. We have three ambassadors here from Shriners Children's, and they're each going to give a little brief story of how they experienced Shriners Children's. And we're pretty blessed today to have three that are highly recruited after for this event. We'd like to have them come back. Some of them have been here before, and it's truly a great experience. So I am going to start off with Grace and her mom, Mandy.
Hello, everybody. This is Grace. Grace is 5 years old. We started our journey with Shriners when Grace was about 2. We had just found out she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. When we took her to Shriners for the first time, we didn't know what to expect for Grace for her life. And shortly after we started our journey with Shriners, she had her first Botox injections, and within 3 or 4 weeks was the first time I ever saw my daughter stand on her own at 2.5 years old. And it was a life-changing moment for our family and for her. Shriners has given her confidence. Shriners has allowed her to trust doctors again. From the day she was born, she's been poked and prodded and, had some pretty invasive things done. And Shriners has always treated her with respect and given her the best care and continued to reassure our family that Grace would be successful and independent throughout her life. Grace is starting kindergarten in 4 short weeks. I'm scared to death, but she's not. She's excited, and I know that she's going to be successful because Shriners has allowed her to have the tools that she needs to be successful. She just had surgery on her hip in January to prevent it from dislocating. It was a terrible, terrible surgery for anybody. They called it a 15 on a scale of 1 to 10. But the 8 weeks after her surgery and she was able to bear weight again, the first thing she did was stand with her walker. But she was able to do it, and she's continued to make progress ever since. And she's going to play t-ball in the spring with the other kids in Springfield. We swim every day. She's learning to swim on her own. And we are so thankful because without Shriners and without the doctors and nurses and the procedures that they offer to her and the support they offer our family, I'm not really sure where she would be. So you guys are here to support these kids and to support the Shriners hospitals, and we appreciate you all being here. So thank you.
Thank you.
So, just a reminder to the players, we have some of the shirts, some of the commemorative gray t-shirts available at the ambassadors' tables, and after we launch, we ask that you mingle in with them, sign the shirts, and just let them know how much they're appreciated. So that's going to happen after lunch. And the next patient I'm going to invite up is Noah. And Noah comes from Massachusetts, and you guys are going to appreciate this. He's a football player.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me here today. My name is Noah Gamache. I'm an 18-year-old, and I'm going into my freshman year at Westfield State University. I've been a Shriners patient since I was 10 days old, and I was born with a right club foot. My mom knew we'd be going to Shriners when she found out at her 20-week ultrasound that I'd have a club foot. We went through the normal club foot steps of treatment, 12 weeks of casts, boot and bar, more casts, and more boot and bar. But none of that really corrected my foot. After all that, I was placed in an AFO to help with this leg length discrepancy for a few years. For all this, nothing stopped me from learning how to crawl and walk on schedule. I rode a bike, ran around with my friends, and played any sport I signed up to play. After about 6 years of trying different ways to accommodate my active lifestyle and support my foot and ankle, the doctors brought up amputation. At first, we were shocked and saddened to hear the news, and there wasn't anything else we could do to save my foot. Up until this time, I had no surgeries, and we were very scared at the thought. Over the span of 3 years, we went to many amputation clinics and did lots of research, and even got a second opinion, but it all led us straight to Shriners in Springfield. Although amputation is very scary and major decision, it was ultimately the best decision for my quality of life. Having the amputation for me solved all the issues for my foot and leg length discrepancy all in one surgery. On June 16, 2015, I had my timed amputation. It took the summer to recuperate, and in the fall I started 4th grade on time with a prosthetic. Ever since my surgery, I've continued to do activities such as swim, playing basketball, baseball, and football. I may not do things exactly like my friends, but my family and I figure out ways for me to do anything I set my mind to. I have fallen in love with football. I started playing in 7th and 8th grade. I took a few years off because my school didn't have enough kids to play. But thankfully I got to play my last 2 years of high school and I'm excited for this upcoming season of college football. Took driver's education, got my license with no restrictions on my license. I drive a normal first car with no additional modifications. This milestone has had my mother worried since my surgery, and she is so proud of me for taking this leap. It did take me about 3 months from the time I took my permit test to get the nerve to drive, but once I did, nothing could stop me. In our small town of Northfield, Massachusetts, I am the only person with a prosthetic, so it's nice to see kids ask me questions and not be afraid of me. Someday they'll all adventure out of our small town and meet someone just like me, and this time not be afraid of people with a prosthetic because they've already met someone. I would also like to thank you all for endless compassion and love for all the patients. You all make coming to Shriners as a patient and parent effortless. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Noah. Those are two impressive children or kids, young men now, that we have in our midst, and we have one more young lady that is willing to come back again to us to meet the players. Much appreciated. And she's from New Hampshire, so go New Hampshire. And I'm going to invite up at this time Taylor.
I'm Taylor. I was born 15 years ago in September of 2008 and to my parents and my big sister. While everything about me was healthy, I did have a small differentiating factor to me. Instead of the usual two hands most kids have, I had a lucky fin, or nub, or nubby, or one of the many nicknames my family has for my lack of lower left arm. A few months prior to my birth, at a routine checkup, my parents were made aware of the fact I would not have a left hand. It turns out that I had developed a blood clot just below my left elbow during the first few weeks of my mom's pregnancy, which caused the process of me growing a left hand to come to a halt. While that is the medical explanation, I prefer to tell people that my parents took the saying kids cost an arm and a leg a little bit too literally. After not knowing what to do with something as life-changing as this, with no experience, my parents found Shriners. From 4 months of age to 5th grade, I wore a prosthetic just about every day, even sometimes falling asleep in it. Then, randomly, I decided I wanted a break. Though this was unfortunate timing because soon after the pandemic began, so when I decided I did want another prosthetic, we were in lockdown, making my break longer than expected. But recently, I was brought up the idea again of getting another prosthetic. Though my parents were hesitant after the break, I was able to convince them through my constant questioning of whether my mom had set up an appointment yet. After my long break, all it took was a couple of appointments and months of me impatiently waiting for my arm to be done so I could start wearing one again. Now, as I'm entering my junior year of high school, I have a new prosthetic that I'm getting used to wearing. I'd like to thank Shriners a lot, because even after a 5-year-long break, they immediately were willing to give me another chance at a prosthetic. And I know many kids, including myself, are very thankful for them.
Awesome job, Taylor. Thank you so much. And to the other two ambassadors as well. What impressive young people. At this time, we're going to, I'm going to bring the coaches up in order, just so that they can do an introduction of their name and perhaps where they coach. Matt Trombley is the head coach for Vermont. He's going to be first. Matt, your assistants, you want to name them off?
I sure can. Thank you very much, guys. I'd like to quickly just introduce our assistants that we have for the state of Vermont today. Tom McCoy from Merton. Chad Pacheco from Brattleboro. Mark Buckland from Hartford. Dan Amel, Hartford. Corey Christie from Burton. Tyler Pierce from Burton. Tim Porter, Hartford. Jim Oaken, Burton. Thank you very much.
Okay, this time I want to bring the Vermont players up. We're going to line them up over here, just like we did up in Hanover in March. So all the Vermont players will come up, and you're going to introduce your name and your school. That's all that's required. Name and school.
Hello, I'm Max Bader, and I went to Essex High School. My name is Shane Curry, U32 High School. I'm JT Wright, I went to Vermont Academy. I'm Philip Galizio, and then you. I'm Nancy Fisher, I went to Dad. I'm Spencer Hayes, St. John's Bridge Academy. Jackson Gillette, Middlebury. Joseph Silver, St. John's Bridge Academy. Caleb Gaber, I went to Burberry. Will Carney, CU. Gavin McNulty, Middlebury. Derek Lee, Otter Valley. Dean Rasper, Parker Donovan, DFS and Almonds. Connor Simons, CBU. Jack McCoy, Vermont Academy.
Yeah, I love you, Jack McCoy. Yeah.
Isaac Carlin, Colchester High. Brady Crosby, Hartford. Mason Boudreaux, Louisville Union. Captain, Poland. Timothy Whitney, Middlebury. Brody Osgood, Windsor. Corey Lockwood, Windsor. Watson LaFoon, North Country. Oliver Cheer, Champlain Valley. Brian Rutherford, Champlain Valley. Ezra Mock, Hartford. Brody Tyberski, Hartford. Brian Swalley, Hartford. Cole Whittington, Hartford. Do it. Yeah. Andrew Keenan, Hartford. Wow. Say what? Jaquan Johnson, James Spalding. Yeah, there you go. Carolina, Vermont Academy.
Go Bulldog.
Walker James, Bells Falls. Carter Thompson, Nottingham. Derek Gillette, One Country.
Trey Lee, Fairhaven.
Jesse Darrow, Bells Falls. Gabriel Hoare, Spalding.
And now for New Hampshire, we can have the New Hampshire head coach, Josh White, and the assistants come up. You can just introduce your assistants.
So I am Josh White, the head coach of the New Hampshire Shrine team. Some of the assistants we have here with us: Colin McQueen, Amesbury High School. Tim Snow, Franklin High School. Kevin Donovan, Amesbury High School. John Trisciani, Pelham High School. James Roy, Franklin High School. We have Lauren Goddett. And she is on another interview for a basketball job at the moment. Actually, she's on her way back, and we fingers crossed she got the job. So thank you.
Thanks, coach. Next in New Hampshire players, we're going to try the flip side. Line up on me over here. Remember, name and school.
Ezekiel McCoy, Franklin High School.
Tatum Melendez, Spalding Academy.
Bobby Kinsella, Trinity High School.
Tim Harrison, D. Pinkerton Academy. Seamus Ross, Wyndham.
Zach Wyverly, Saudi.
Rudy Nagel, Kennett High School.
Gavin Clark, Guilford High.
Hutch Haskins, Belmont High School.
Ian Mathis, St. Thomas Aquinas. Noah Fournette, Trinity. Connor Adams, Hillsborough Academy.
Eric Menger, Exeter.
Alex Roman, Trinity Academy. Tyler Dekatowski, Plymouth Regional High School.
Logan Ash, Newport Middle High School. Nolan Beck, Merrimack Valley. Joe Neal, Bishop Garden.
Eric Derciolo, Exeter. Austin Ingersoll, Sanborn Regional High School. Murray Spalding, Beaumont Regional. Dylan Roy, Wyndham. TJ Martin, Maxwell Nevada.
Pete Denkley High School. Connor Cassidy, Sabine.
John Terrell White, John Stark. Ben Ferguson, Sanborn.
Sean Hillsborough High School.
Chris Supra, Franklin High. Diego Mendez, Bishop Garden. Cam Porter, Alger. Ben Rossi, Sanborn.
Okay, at this time, we're going to invite the ambassadors and families up to the buffet line to start the process. News media can fill in behind. And then we'll have the coaches want to go first or last this year. Coaches can go next, and then the players. Guys, remember, after lunch, if you could go around to the ambassador tables and just assign the T-shirts that they have for commemoration of the event. Appreciate it.
Okay, we are at Castleton State College, or actually Castleton, Vermont State University. Try to get the name right here. And with us is Jack Healy, who will be the announcer of this year's Shrine Maple Sugar Bowl game. Has done that for many years. With him is Tom Haley from the Rutland Herald. And Tom has covered many of these games, if not all of them, in the last many years. And we'd like to welcome both of you to our television camera here on PEGTV. Jack?
And again, great to be with you. It's hard to believe it's another year for the Shrine football game. Want to mention you introduced Tom Haley from the Rutland Herald. He is the 2024 Grand Marshal of the Shrine game, too. So congratulations on that. And he is the first Grand Marshal in history that also has his granddaughter as part of the cheerleading squad for Vermont.
Oh, quite
his,
a distinction.
Granddaughter, Brooklyn Kimball.
Yeah, that's that. They got me on the right year. It's a thrill. It's a thrill to share it with her.
Jack, I would just ask you a question. First of all, you've announced this game for how many years?
I used to do it with the tape games that we used to sell, the video. I had been doing that since the late 80s, early 90s. And I first was on the radio in 2000. And I did that for many years. And over the last couple of years now, it's the video cast on the Northeast Sports Network, nsnsports.net. And I do the game along with Bob Littman from New Hampshire.
Okay, I know you've done it for many years. A lot of folks out there that are familiar with this game remember Tony Adams, and you took over after Tony finished up. But you have probably seen almost at least half of these games as the announcer.
I've pretty much just seen every game since the mid-'80s anyway, and I've missed a couple here and there, but for the most part I've seen all those games, not necessarily broadcasting them, but have been there as a spectator.
Okay, and now we could have a question with Tom. Tom, you've been a newspaper reporter for many years. How many of these games have you seen?
Well, I have worked every game since 1975. A Vermont victory, coached by Fairhaven coach Tom LaPlaca. Excuse me, Don Hubert came later. A victory coached by Tom LaPlaca. The first one I saw was as a spectator in '71 when MSJ's Ricky Bradowski gained 121 yards in the first half alone, and Vermont defeated New Hampshire very convincingly. That was the first game I saw. '75, the first one I covered.
Okay, and if both of you could just give us a comment on this year's contest, the 2024 edition of this game. It's at Castleton University again, which has been its home now for several years. And what are your thoughts on this year's game?
Well, of course, last year Vermont did win the ball game after losing for a couple of years in a row, and I think people are familiar with the configuration of the New Hampshire team now versus Vermont, so the games have been very competitive. And I'm going to, even though I'm wearing a New Hampshire t-shirt to show my impartiality, I also have Vermont t-shirts. I'm going with Vermont to win this game, similar to last year. I'm going to say 21-12, something like that.
I like Vermont, maybe 28-20. I see Vermont scoring. I think that both quarterbacks, and really all three if you want to include Braden Trombley from Hartford, who has got a few packages and will also play some quarterback. Most of it will be shared by Cheer and McCoy from CVU and Burton respectively. I think they're the real deal. I think they're going to have put up a lot of points. I'm looking for them to score in the vicinity of 28 and win this game. But I also think this is a pretty good New Hampshire team, and it's going to be a really, really good game.
I agree. I think it's going to be a good game. Again, I think Vermont wins it, and I see a lot of passing on the Vermont side.
Okay, Tom, if you could just talk about some of our Rutland County athletes that'll be participating. Of course, we've had a great football tradition here. You don't have to mention them by name, but the tradition of football here in Rutland County, obviously, and the Shrine game goes way back, and quite an honor for a lot of our Rutland County athletes to be playing in this game.
Well, oddly, we don't have anybody from Rutland High, and but that's I think we will. I think that's because the team was very young last year, and I think next year you'll see the red and white out there wearing the green and gold. But we certainly have some very notable players from the other Rutland County schools, and I think that, and it's very interesting, Tegan Kapman is on this team from Pulteney, and his grandfather Dave played in the 1965 Shrine Maple Sugar Bowl for Pulteney and for Vermont.
Yeah, just specifically on the players, Derek Lee from Otter Valley is on the Vermont team, and also on the Vermont team is Mason Boudreau, who is an MSJ student, but he played at Mill River, their program, and he's actually from Pulteney, but he
played football for Pulteney.
He played football for Pulteney, but went on to transfer to MSJ and plays on the Mill River team. He is listed on the program as a Mill River player, but Mason Boudreau is an MSJ student, so there are a couple of Rutland County players on the Vermont team. There have been years when there have been more, of course, but as Tom mentioned, some of the programs are young, and we'll see many. We have said this over the years. Tom obviously knows this. The Shrine game is big in Rutland County. Actually, I would go on to say that Rutland County is the one area in the state of Vermont that's more interested in the Shrine game than any other. As a matter of fact, I would venture to guess in the two states, the Rutland area is certainly mostly interested in that.
I agree with that, and even when the game was played at Dartmouth College in Hanover, Jack and I both noticed that in the pregame introductions, the ovation for when the name was called for the MSJ and Rutland kids was always loudest, louder than the others. We noticed that year after year after year, a great turnout from the Rutland area, and always a healthy representation in the game.
I want to mention that Tom mentioned that the late Tom LaPlaca from Fairhaven coached Vermont to victory in 1975, which means that next year is the 50th anniversary of that particular game. And I know that a couple of Fairhaven stars from that game, Kevin Perot was the quarterback, and Mike Polino, they'll both be in attendance here. Kevin Perot lives in California. He's been back for most of the Shrine games since he graduated. So that's the 50th year as far as that Vermont victory is concerned, with a Fairhaven coach and a couple of the Fairhaven stars. But they'll be here tomorrow, so that's something to look forward to.
Yep, and that's a really exciting thing, I think, because that 75 team, which practiced here at Castleton, long before Castleton had football, but Tom LaPlaca's team practiced here. The other Fairhaven coach that coached the game about 11 or 12 years later, Don Hubert, had his shrine camp at Green Mountain College, just 7 miles from here. So there's a lot of history and a lot of twists and turns, and I'm really looking forward to Friday night talking about some of them as a guest speaker. Jack will be the MC. Really looking forward to the Friday night banquet, and what I think the next day is going to be one of the best Shrine games ever, one that's capable of taking its place with the very best. The 47-40 Vermont shootout win in the year 2000. In '98, Vermont team coached by Mike Norman that got behind 13-0, and it would have been like their 10th straight loss, but they roared back and won 21-13. Some great quarterback play by Brattleboro's Ben Gilbert, and I think this one Saturday is going to take its place right with those.
That game in 2000 was the first game that I did on the radio that I referred to earlier, and MSJ's Mike Keenan threw 6 touchdown passes in that game, and the team was coached by Brian Grady of MSJ, and so that record still stands, by the way. The 6 touchdown passes for Mike Keenan might be in jeopardy. I don't know if it's going to be that high scoring. I think they'll certainly fill the air with footballs. I want to say that the game, for a while, you already mentioned, has been here at Vermont State University, Castleton. It's behind us. It's Dave Walk Stadium, Rutland High grad. Dave Walk, the president at Vermont State University, Castleton. No longer the president, but he certainly was instrumental in bringing football to Vermont State University, Castleton. I might add, let me be the first to say publicly that Dave Walk is one of the new inductees into the Vermont State University Castleton Hall of Fame. He'll be honored here at Castleton on Friday, September 20th. So congratulations to David Walk on that. I guess he sort of deserves it.
Yeah, I think so. The name is on the stadium for a reason, and like you said, he brought football here. I kind of knew he would before he even mentioned that, because I just felt he had that vision that would compel him to do that, and it's a great venue, a great game setting. They lead the league in attendance every year. They travel well. We hear all the stories about Vermont State University Castleton having more fans for some games on the road than the home team, and we really want a big crowd here Saturday. I'm sure it'll be in the vicinity of 5,000, and just looking forward to it so much.
So it's Saturday, August 3rd, 11:30 a.m. kickoff time here at Dave Walk Stadium.
All right, I want to thank both of you for giving us some comments, and enjoy the game on Saturday. Thank you.
Keep up the great work, Craig.
Okay, Jack Healy along with Tom Haley. All right, we are again at Vermont State University at Castleton. Shrine game coming up this Saturday as we speak, and we have the Vermont team athletic director for the Shrine Maple Sugar Bowl game, David Kapman. Dave is a former coach at Pulteney, athletic director for many years, and I guess now retired. Congratulations on that, Dave.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, and if we could just talk about this year's edition, the 2024 edition, and again, you're still, this is one job you did keep, obviously.
Yeah, I've kept that. I'm a Shriner, and I'm on the board of directors, and my position is the Vermont athletic director. My basic job is, in the beginning, is, get the coach gets the team, and then after that, I do all the uniforms and all that for people so that everyone's properly dressed.
All right, so there is quite a bit we could put in one of these games. I mean, you got to do it quickly, too, but do you get a routine down after doing it a number of years where things kind of fall in place?
Yeah, it's a routine. My wife's a big help. This year we sorted everything as we got it, because everything comes to my house, and we have two rooms at our home. One is Vermont room, one's a New Hampshire room, and then we sort everything out, jacket, jerseys, and then they get them when they're here on Sunday they report.
Okay, you're unique in a few different ways here, being that you played in this game, and I believe they told me 1965. Is that correct?
I played in 65. I was a head coach in 91.
Oh.
And I wanted, from that time, I always wanted to be a part of the game, and I became a Shriner, and they asked me if I would like to serve on the board, and I said, I'm still coaching. And they said, well, that doesn't make any difference. They'd like to have me, so I ended up being on the board of directors.
So that, I'm sure, was a great honor, a lot of fun to be a coach in this game, and then still have some part of it and wearing a different hat.
It's a great fundraiser. I mean, last year the hospitals, they gave each one $20,000, and it's a lot of fun. I didn't realize until I got started the amount of things that we have to do. I mean, we meet every month in Lebanon, New Hampshire, and when we started, we had the parade was part of us. Cheering has been added in. We had cheering years ago. Now cheering is back. We have 2 separate teams, but it's a fundraiser for the hospitals, and the competition is good for the teams.
Okay, Dave Catman with us here on PEGTV. Just a couple of more questions. You also have a grandson playing this year, correct?
Yeah, I have a grandson, our youngest, Tegan.
Okay.
I was supposed to retire back. We won the state title like 4 years ago from Pulteney High School, but I would still continue with this. But my wife said, you're not being fair to your 2 younger grandsons. So I said, okay. So he stayed on for 4 more years coaching, and then Tegan's graduating and part of this team.
Okay, and did you also have a son that played in this game?
Yeah, my son Christopher played in '92. He was with us as a manager in '91 when I was the head coach.
Okay.
So he was part of that.
All right, well, again, congratulations on putting together another fine day of football here for fans throughout the state of Vermont and everywhere, and thank you for coming on PEGTV.
Yeah, thank you. We're looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you. We are at Vermont State University here at Castleton, and we have Matt Trombley with us here on camera from PEGTV, and Matt is the coach of this year's Vermont Shrine Maple Sugar Bowl team. Former resident, you tell me, of Rutland. Welcome to our camera here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, and if you would, just obviously tell us a few words about your thoughts on this year's team and what you got here for.
It's been a great experience this week. Our kids have really come together well, developing some lasting relationships, I think, and I think the game coming up at the end of the week is kind of the icing on the cake. Everything we do up to that point with the kids getting together and this experience here, meeting all of the ambassadors, has just really been an eye-opener, and I think for the kids it really gives meaning to why we're here.
Okay, just talk about how hard it is or what a challenge it is to try to put together a game plan and get game ready basically, in a week or 2?
Yeah, it's extremely challenging because obviously you've got kids from all over the state with different offenses and different defenses, and I think trying to get everybody on the same page really in a week is really tough because it's essentially they're learning a new language. And so we're on track to be ready by Saturday. I think we're right where we need to be, and by Saturday I think we'll be ready to go.
Okay, and just your thoughts on the opponent. New Hampshire always game prepared, ready to go. Great teams, great athletes.
You always know New Hampshire's going to bring their best. It's always a challenge for Vermont to compete with those guys, and we're going to give them our best effort.
Okay, and obviously just having fun is the big part of why you're all here.
Absolutely.
Okay, Matt, I want to thank you very much. I want to wish you the best of luck in this Saturday's game. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Okay, we are back here at Castleton, actually at Castleton, Vermont State University at Castleton. Christy Morris is with us. She's with the Shriners, and welcome to our television camera. Let me back this up just a little bit. There we go. We got you a good frame here, and maybe you could talk just a bit, Christy, about this year's game. You did a great job putting this media day together. The game itself is coming up on Saturday, and talk about this year's game and how everything went putting it together.
Sure. Thank you, first of all, for doing this. My name is Christy Morris. I am the general chairman for the Maple Sugar Bowl game, which means I have a committee that helps me organize this. We do a golf tournament on Mondays. We do the media day on Tuesday, which is where we are today. We bring in 3 hospital ambassadors to meet and greet the players. We have some paraphernalia, apparel, such as shirts and different things that the players will sign for the ambassadors to give them a good experience. And it gives them the chance to see what Shriners Children's is all about.
Okay, this game has changed or evolved, I should say, over the years, and now has a permanent home here at Castleton. How has things been going here at Castleton? How is the success of the game here permanently now in Castleton?
Sure. So the Castleton State University Castleton campus is a phenomenal place to host the game, simply because we have dorms, cafeteria, and practice fields very close to where the pavilion is, which is where we are today, which makes it very easy to get to. The student athletic center is walking distance away. It's all compact. The dorms, Castleton staff does a great job for putting this on and allowing us to be here. And this is our sixth year that we've been here. Maybe more than that, I don't know.
And the game has maintained its popularity, obviously. You get good crowds here, and it's still a big source of revenue for the Shrine.
Sure. So this year, let me back up. Last year, 2023, we gave $105,000 to 3 Shriners Children's facilities. One in Springfield, Massachusetts, the Boston Burn Center, and then the Montreal Shriners Children's Hospital up there. So we split that 105 between the three entities to raise funds to support the children.
Okay.
This year, the players, and this is brand new information, the players this year have raised $65,000, over $65,000 in revenue towards the game's proceeds.
All right, well, I want to thank you very much for telling us a little bit about what you do and putting this together, and certainly congratulate you and all your team members for doing an outstanding job.
Sure, I'm not going to take any of the credit. It's our Board of Governors and the Castleton staff that make this go.
All right, well, good luck on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you.